The beating heart of your studio nowadays is your computer. Do not skimp out on your computer. Spend as much money as you can in your budget on your computer. And then immediately think to yourself about your backup storage medium. People think, oh, my files are on my computer. Oh, fine. Y2K, power outage, okay? Not fine. You spend money on a computer, you spend money on multiple hard drives, maybe a DVD backup system like Retrospect or something. And that's the beating heart of their computer. That's where the horsepower comes from. You want to pull up a vocal processor, you want to pull up lots of EQs, you want to have lots of tracks, your computer has to say, okay. And if you skimp out and you buy, the cheapest Windows machine that you can buy, you are severely limiting yourself based on the fact that as soon as you decide to have another creative idea, oh, I want a reverb on that. Computer says, no more reverb. I'm a proponent of Macintoshes. I wrote an article I was interviewed for an article in Interview magazine about the difference between Macs and PCs and what I think on that topic. And I will tell you right now, if Bill Gates ever meets me, I'm going to have to run. He's going to want to get a piece of me because I am not a big fan of the PCs. I think Macs are awesome. We've had Macs in my studio that have been running for 4 years that never get turned off. That's amazing to me, personally. Second most important thing you can buy in your studio is your interface. And your interface is going to dictate how many inputs and outputs you have simultaneously. So if you buy an interface like you buy the M-Box because it's the cheapest interface that you can find, well, eventually I hope you are going to aspire to put up more than 2 microphones at some point in your life. So if you're going to buy a home studio setup, get something with at least 8 inputs or 16 inputs so that you have creative ability to say, oh, I want to put another mic over there on that cymbal. Or I'd like to do an acoustic and a DI, a mic and a DI or something like that. Don't limit yourself by getting a 2-channel interface. That will not suffice. And then what makes great sounds are great instruments. So if you don't have a good guitar, go buy a good guitar. All right, that's first. Then a great mic, a great preamp, and signal processing would be an afterthought. Hard thing to do is get good sounds with just mics and preamps. But I'll tell you, it can be done. I used to teach in a room that was not much of a studio. It was basically one room with a window attached to another room. And in the room was a drummer with microphones, cables through the tie lines through the wall. They go right into or the Sci-Tech preamps and then right into Pro Tools. No outboard, anything. No console. There was one of those Huey human interfaces, whatever. And I had to show the class how to get great sounds with no compressors, with no EQs, with no filters. And the way you do that is you move around the mics. You choose different mics. You change the distance between the mic and the source. You change the angle of the mic. You tune your drums, right? And if people would spend more time on those types of techniques, those things that happen in a room, as opposed to what happens inside of your computer, you'll realize that you need your computer less and less. What I've realized is as I mix, I use fewer and fewer EQs. It used to be when you look at a mix that I've done, you're going to see 48 equalizers in. Every single sound EQ'd. And if you could get the right sound from starting at the microphone and not screw it up on the way into the tape machine with a good preamp and no distortion and no background noise, no ambience, that's what you should really be concentrating on. So you're going to build a home studio, get yourself a monster computer, get at least an 8 to 16 channel interface, and get good mics and preamps. Pretty simple. And headphones that isolate so you don't get bleed.
Well, thanks very much for talking.
Oh, I wish I could stay.